Well, I thought I'd dress up for the occasion today because today we're talking about career. Last time I was talking about relationships and how you can connect with that, also with the Jeffersonian dinner. So I also got some follow up at the end of the video when I do my announcements. But today is career, and what I say that Corona has really shaken on how we see career. In today's world, it has become normal to stay at home, to stay at home office, and this is really shifting how work is done. And I actually didn't want to go too deep into Corona, but I will touch on it a few more times. So I'll just let that flow into that. So let's to get started. I'd like to introduce my way of working and studying. I'm not sure if you guys know, but actually working for the telecom while studying business information systems. The cool thing about this is I'm getting not only paid for my studies, but I'm also getting paid to educate myself. The way it works is that I'm working 3 days and I'm studying 2 days. So I really like this approach because you have this balance. And what I really love about the telecom is they try to communicate this lifelong learning. And what I've been seeing in the work environment is that this could actually be the biggest, most important impact that a company can have on these employees, on everyone. And actually, it will drive huge amounts of innovation. For example, Google has this thing, it's called the 20% time. And the way I understand it, it's basically you have the Friday to work on a personal project, like whatever, it's personal to you, but it also has to benefit the company in one way or another. And eventually you will have to present it, but you can choose basically whatever you want as long as you can justify it. So this does not only increase motivation, but kind of also a sense of belonging that you are part of this company and you can shape the future of it. So I find that highly interesting. Also, this kind of ties to study of McKinsey because they are saying that by the year 2030, 40% of the work that is done today will be eliminated through automation. So that means 40% of the workers are going to be jobless if they are not training for a different kind of job. So the main example for that would probably be the people like truck drivers are major example for that, but also basically every repetitive task that can be automated, they will all fall away within the next few years. So it's super important to educate yourself, and it's always better when the company is also encouraging you to do so, because it takes a lot of stress of you, because when you have to do it in your free time, you're obviously going to be more stressed, if especially if you don't leverage it correctly. So what I want to suggest is this concept of why don't companies generally say, hey, you have 2 days to educate yourself, especially when you're in a field of job which is going to be eliminated within the next few years. And this way, you can be way more valuable to the company, and you yourself will still be employed in the 10 years. So, ways to continuously educate yourself, like besides the obvious going to a university, are just generally reading books. Reading books is a great thing if you think about it, because you're literally downloading decades of information within weeks. Within weeks, you're literally downloading experiences. How awesome is that? Another way is podcasts. So this is the second. And I've recently stumbled across a third point, the way you can re-educate yourself or go into further education, which is websites like Coursera or Academy. So I'm gonna put a link down in the description. I can make a special video about that if you guys want to. I'm just really referring those two sites, especially our Academy has been super good in the learning process and just very well thought out concept. Can highly recommend it. So on the next aspect, I was also going to little in the further education. And another topic I would like to cut on is the difference between intrapreneur and entrepreneur. Like everyone knows what an entrepreneur is, and they're like all over the influencers, almost getting quite annoying already. But no one's talking about the intrapreneurs, the people that are working in the company, but seeing it as if they can decide the fate of the company. They are a co-creator. Let's say it like that. And the being an entrepreneur has many benefits, including it's very unlikely that you're gonna get broke because you can basically test your ideas out, and the company is paying for them, and you have this huge capital that you can rely on as long as you convey um, your idea correctly. There's also a great podcast from the Superhumans at Work that is kind of going more deeply than I can at the moment in this topic. I will also put it down in the description if you guys are interested. Another thing is the culture. The culture in the company is super important. And as I said before, it should be focused around growth. Because if the employees are growing and expanding their knowledge, so does the company. And therefore, the profit grows not only for the company, but also for the employees. So this is a win-win situation. And the last thing I wanted to put on the actual career aspect is meritocracy. So this is a concept that I first was introduced by, it's difficult to do that, try it. It should be here, but I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. This is the book Principles. So in this book, they talk about this concept of a meritocracy. Also, Google is doing the same thing. And what they're basically saying is that you should not just listen to the highest paid person. You should listen to the best idea, no matter who it comes from. So you basically evaluate the decision or the idea on a very neutral level. And you don't discard any idea because it has come from a blue collar worker or so. So you just generally every idea is justified, and this brings huge amounts of innovation into the company because everyone is able to give feedback on what the company is doing and what the company is developing. And for example, the person in human resource might not be involved at all in the product placement or in the product design, but they still might have a super creative idea that people are stuck there. So it's very important to have this meritocracy as well as the transparency around the company. Lastly, on finance. At the moment, stocks are already going up. I'm recording this at the 8th of April. I'm probably gonna post it Friday in a week, so that should be the 17th. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but anyways, I'm not sure how it's gonna develop this, but just a few tips on the stocks that I've been learning. I'm still way on the beginning side, but just to get started, a concept that I did not know before was that you can do is putting a limit on, for example, hey, I'd like to buy Google as soon as it's dropping below €1,000. And then you don't have to check the stock market all the time when it's below €1,000. The system will automatically purchase it as soon as it hits this limit. You don't have to do anything. It's super comfortable. You can just relax and wait until it drops down. Not saying that financial thing is everything. Partly, I'm basically saying the opposite. But if you do want to go in the financial side, maybe putting a limit on your stocks can be a way to go. Also, a little more on the humanitarian aspect. Try to choose stocks that really resonate with you. Does the stock also align with your own beliefs and your values? And this is how I choose my stocks. I always think, hey, can my values justify this purchase? Are my values aligned with the values of the company? And then I know it's the right thing to buy. So this this sums up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned even something. And if you get some questions or feedback, post it down below. And I'm just gonna list a few announcements now. So announcement number 1. I intend to start streaming, and it's not like a gaming focused stream, it's more of a productivity stream. I will start streaming on Twitch Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central East time. So if you're just interested in watching it, drop by that time. I will also post the video of the stream on Twitch. So if you can't during that period of time, just maybe drop by later, give me some feedback. I'd love to get some feedback and maybe actually enjoy the content. I'm trying to make it more of a storytelling thing. I'm not sure about the name yet, but I'm thinking about digital campfire. So basically trying to tell you guys a story that is gonna, like, generally storytelling is like a way of experience that uplifts your level of performance. Like, you usually learn something from a story, and it's also entertaining. So this is my goal. I want to entertain you guys and also teach you a thing or two, and maybe I learn something from you guys. That would be awesome. Like, talking about win-win situations, aren't we? So additionally to that, I'll start up my Discord again. I'll start being active there. For example, I'm thinking about a mastermind and maybe Jeffersonian dinner. I talked about that in last video. So maybe during the current crisis, we can do an online Discord Jeffersonian dinner. Maybe not necessarily dinner, but just like having a general conversation about a topic, for example, Corona or the education system or whatever you guys feel like it. And we just have a very civil conversations about that. Also, I'm planning on doing a feedback through Doodle. So I'll have a Doodle link in the subscription. Not sure if I'll manage this for this video, but definitely in the next one after this. And this is for some feedback. If you liked certain things or not, you just like have to click through it. Doesn't even take more than 10 seconds. Just like tap, 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 you're done. Also, since I'm like in Germany, and I assume people from Germany are also watching my videos, and not everyone is as fluent in English, I thought about adding German subtitles to that, so you guys can listen to, and maybe it can help you with your English learning skills. So I like try to put as many concepts and ideas and learnings into the videos. So next one, I'm going to talk about my mission. I'm going to start with my why. All those previous videos have been kind of an introduction on where I'm going, also a learning experience for myself. So yeah, next month I'm gonna like wrap it all up, and then the actual series starts. Then everything is gonna start. I'm gonna start with my why. So stay tuned for that, and I see you guys there.